Hi, beautiful. Let's talk. Do you feel like, maybe you don't belong, maybe you don't fit in? Do you feel like you're behind in life or something's missing? Well, let's talk about it. I'm going to do my lashes, my makeup while we talk. We're going to start with something that I think is the biggest reason why you probably feel that way. And it's going to be something no one wants to hear, but it's going to be social media. Like, seeing everybody's lives online that's like filtered and curated kind of gives off like a different perspective and perception than what that person is probably experiencing in reality. So naturally, people aren't really going to share like the bad, horrible things in their lives or like anything they're kind of like going through in that realm. So when you see things online and you have some like FOMO, or you feel like you're behind or you messed up or something's wrong with you, realistically, you're setting yourself up for failure because you're believing something that's probably not even true. More often than not, that person does not have an amazing life, right? So stop looking at other people thinking you need to be somewhere else or something's wrong with you or anything like that, because the only thing you're doing is hurting your chances of having a better life. This one's going to be a hard one to hear, but we're going to say it anyway. Your fear of inadequacy is usually due to a lack of action. So I want you to take an honest assessment of where you're at in life, what you're doing, what you have for your goals and where you want to be. And then I want you to have a very hard, long talk with yourself and look at what you're doing in order to acquire those goals and actually fulfill them and complete them and get to them, and what you're not doing that needs to be done for you to get there. Or even if you don't have any goals in line, that you just haven't really thought of any, maybe it's the fact that you just haven't done anything just yet, which realistically it's probably what it is. And I know that's hard to hear, but this is also something that's pretty controversial to say, but we're in control of ourselves, we're in control of how we feel, we're in the control of what we think, what actions we take. So if it's that easy for someone to make you feel inadequate, then you need to self-reflect as to why it's so easy and why you're not doing anything to address that, which goes back to the previous point. Another big thing is obviously like just general self-confidence. Like, you have to be able to be confident in yourself. Like, okay, take for example, right now I'm not in shape and I have always been like the person in shape or whatever. Had a bunch of injuries and I'm slowly getting back to it, and I'm using like free weights that I have at home because there's no gym here. I can't do like MMA and all the other stuff that I used to do. Okay, so I feel a little self-conscious because I'm not in shape as I used to be. So what am I doing? I'm working out. You need to address things. Anything that's in your control. If it's in your control, it's in your responsibility to change. Yes, I want you to love yourself as you are, but you can love yourself as you are and still take action to be better and do better and become better. There's nothing, oops, sorry, that's probably loud. There is nothing great about staying stagnant. Staying where you are is worse than anything you could ever do to yourself. I would much rather fail than stay the same. So in order for you to get better, do better, be better, you have to change. You have to change your lifestyle. You have to change your mindset, change your perceptions, change the way you think, change who you surround yourself with, change the things you do. Change is necessary to growth. You cannot have growth in any domain or any facet of life unless you change. Because you would not have this goal of doing something, becoming something, acquiring something if you already had it. So clearly you don't have it. Now you have to do the steps in order to get there. Self-confidence comes from within yourself. And a lot of people think it only has to do with like superficial things like your looks or whatever, but it's not. It's the way you talk to yourself. It's what you do. It's what you don't do. It's what you put off, what you procrastinate, what you achieve, what you fulfill. Your ability to be able to rely on yourself and to actually be consistent and be dependable. That's where your self-confidence truly comes from. Focusing on all these external validations, like just as simple as fitness or how you look, is not going to make you feel more confident. Why do you think they always say, like, oh, the most beautiful people you think are beautiful, they still have confidence issues or like insecurities and stuff like that? Well, yes, because it's not the external things you see. It's not money, it's not fame, it's not looks, it's not what car you drive, what items you possess. Self-confidence is what you hold yourself accountable for, what you do, what your character is. I used to feel like very lonely because I've always felt like I don't fit in, which is true. I don't. I simply do not fit in. I don't find any kind of interest in doing what many people do. So not that I'm saying any of it is wrong, but I don't like to party. I don't like going out. I don't like small talk. I don't really hang out with people. I don't really go places with people. I typically do things like alone with my dog or with my partner or like select few people that I'll see like here and there, because I find more comfort in my peace and my time to do all the things that I want to do instead of spending time doing something else. My friends know that they can rely on me for whatever they need, and I've hoped that they also have come to the conclusion that regardless of how much we talk, I'm always going to be there for them. Doesn't matter we haven't seen each other. Doesn't matter we don't talk all the time. Doesn't matter that they're too busy, I'm too busy. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to be there for them. We don't need to consistently be around each other or consistently talking for that to be the case. I don't like making people feel uncomfortable, and I feel like a lot of society feels that pressure to like do things, partake in things, go places, see people, talk about various topics. I don't think any of that is really truly necessary for the most part. It is in some circumstances, but otherwise, I think it's better for people to feel more comfortable to quite literally be themselves and do what they're actually interested in, and not having to conform to what someone else wants them to do, say, or be. Best outcome, best possibility, or my wish, something like that. Whatever you want to name it. And then after you do that, I want you to do it at a monthly goal. Things that you can actually humanly achieve in a month. Because remember, the whole point is to not stress yourself out. It needs to be as easy as possible. If you ease into it slowly, it becomes a habit then that you can emulate very easily, even more on a greater level, and achieve things faster once you're used to them. You have it streamlined, you have a process set up, it becomes like second nature. You can do it with your eyes closed, you could do it asleep, whatever it is. You want to slowly build up to that, because then it will be the strongest capability that you have. So after you have a month, to a week, bi-weekly, then I want you to do by the day. And then if you're like me, who likes to break down a daily planner, I have goals for the morning, for the afternoon, and for night, and then I have priorities for the day. So if anything is not on schedule, I know what my priorities are. I have all this other stuff. Okay, well, if I can't accomplish them today, guess what? They're going to move to the next day. And then the same rule applies. Now, because of, how compounding works, you don't want a bunch of things to be moved off and pushed off constantly. If it's being pushed off constantly, that means you need to adjust. That means your goal setting is too extreme. You need to adjust it to be smaller so that way you can actually fulfill those things. Because everything you fulfill, all those little items, they give you self-confidence. They give you absolute control and the feeling of control. They empower you. They show you your progress. And they're just that validation you need to keep going. I like totally missed spots around my nose. That's kind of funny. And then from there, you do it day in, day out. And like I said, whatever you don't achieve, add that to the next day. If that's too much for you, increase the timeline of your goal. You don't have to do it quick. You're not in competition with anyone. You are in competition with yourself, who you are in the moment, who you are in the previous moments, and who you're going to be in the future. So what does that mean? You have your entire life to do it. Take that stress and take that burden off of your shoulder to understand that you have ample time. And it's not the destination that's important, it's your journey there. And doing this will literally build you so much confidence, success, and power. And you will be able to build whatever life you envision. And I do want to add that even if you don't reach the goals you set, like there's plenty of goals, even as simple as degree programs I initially set out for, careers I set out for, completely flopped, I failed. Okay, I found something else. I changed my goal. I restructured everything. I built a new timeline. I built the habits again. I built my processes again. I did all my tracking. I built up my self-confidence. I built up my character and everything else. I started over. And here I am. So building up something like this for yourself will get you exactly what you want, or what you need to do, or where you need to go, or where you're meant to be, even if it changes. And I don't want you to think, oh, like if I feel like I did all that for nothing. No, you didn't. Everything correlates. Something that's completely different than what you were doing still relates. Doesn't matter if it's a whole new career. There's skills that you require that match up with whatever it is you're doing. All that consistency that you put in, it literally applies everywhere in your life. That passion you had, you can transform it into another passion. I have physical limitations that I had to go through and come to terms with, and I had to change everything that I was doing. it sucks. It still sucks sometimes, but at the same time, so be it. I found a new path. It's not the end of the world. I found a new dream. And the same goes for if you fulfill the dream you set out to fulfill or acquire. Well, what do I do now? Dream another dream. You just keep going. And that's like one of the biggest lessons of life, is that no matter what, everything just keeps going. Even when it's horrible, obviously. Like if you have loss, etc., which I've had plenty of, obviously, it is very difficult. But regardless, time still goes on. If you don't know what your dreams are, I want you to seek inspiration. And that one's going to be kind of funny for me to say, because I'm going to ask you to seek inspiration outside of yourself. Watch YouTube videos on people talking about their life, what they do, what their hobbies are. If you're into Pinterest, go on Pinterest. The more you expose yourself to the world, the more you can formulate what you enjoy, who you are, what aligns with you. So there's clearly value in the things external to you, because you are a byproduct of your environment. But also, you have to find that middle ground where the environment is not damaging you, where you are still fulfilling yourself and who you're meant to be and your goals. So that one is something that you learn over time how to balance. But if you don't have an idea of what you like, what you're into, what your goals are, we are luckily in a digital age that inspiration, motivation is all around you. There has never been so many ideas available at your fingertips so easily ever throughout history. So you have quite a bit of resources. You might just need to figure out different ways of searching things. So you can just Google hobbies, right? You can Google fun jobs, fun career paths. You can take quizzes online that tell you like your personality traits, like the Myers-Briggs. It can give you some more insight into who you are. I know a lot of people still like to use stuff like horoscopes and stuff to try to figure out. That can be a baseline. Remember, all information is viable. It's how you use it that matters the most. So there's plenty of ways to do it. Just browse through YouTube, search up different things, Google things. I clearly will always say YouTube, because I tell everybody I go to YouTube University. I can't tell you the amount of things I learned from YouTube in comparison to anything else. I absolutely adore that we have this community so readily available to us, and so many creators to just gain information from. And also, I do have to say that, when you get information from other people or online, reputable source or not, obviously stick to reputable sources the most, but even reputable sources can have errors. It can have misguided information, or it can misguide you. So take everything, process that information, take out what serves you, what aligns with you, and what you're actually interested in, what you believe, and then you piece together your own formula, your own process for what you want to do, what you agree with, who you are, all that stuff. You don't have to do exactly what somebody else did. It's probably not going to work for you, but you can learn from everyone else. You can learn from everybody else's mistakes. You can make your process much faster and simpler by learning from others. So as you can see, some of what I say kind of contradicts each other. But the point is to find a balance, because without a balance, neither side is going to help you. You have to have a balance of both. but you still have to address them separately. Being alone and learning yourself, being around others and getting exposed to different ideas. It's all a balancing act for life. But you have to do both separately and simultaneously to figure out who you are, what you want, what you like. And then you can get exactly what you want. If you keep staying consistent and do what you need to do to get there. I feel like I far too often see people just saying the same things, doing the same things, and they do them essentially forever, and it's things that are not great for them, or it's things that's not helping them, or it's things that are hindering them. A lot of times it's the same things for everybody, or a little bit different, but it still doesn't change the fact that it's not good for you. And I know a lot of people are going to hate that I say it, but like, stop partying. Stop doing things that are an absolute waste of time. You might want to rethink what you consider as fun, or find something else that's more fun. Like, going out here and there is not bad. I don't personally do it. I have no interest in it, so I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to judge you if you do. But I am saying that spending all your time doing something like that means that you don't have time to do anything else. So you need to figure out a schedule that works for you and benefits you. You don't have to be as extreme as I am to get there. But you need to figure out what works for you. Which is exactly what I was saying earlier, is that what somebody else did might not work for you. So don't just follow everything that somebody says. Figure out what actually will benefit you. What suits you. I know this is like a pretty heavy conversation, but I don't want anyone to feel bad at all. It's just like, I feel like there's so much misguided information. And I feel like because I can see it and I can recognize it, I now become responsible for trying to change that. Knowledge is power, and I like helping people, so I want to empower people to have the best outcomes, to have the best life, to get what they want. I don't like that people are struggling. I don't like that people are suffering. I want everyone to have a great life. It doesn't matter if it's a rich life or just enough to have a roof over your head or enough money to get food and stuff like that. I don't care what it is. I just want you guys to be happy. So I feel very strongly about this, okay? I'm not trying to be like hardcore or anything, but I feel very strongly about this. I have quite a bit of empathy, I would say. I think I have an unreasonable amount of empathy as well, but that is my own battle to fight, and that is my own, what's it called? Why am I blinking? I can't think of the word, so I guess my own weakness to resolve, okay? I'm gonna be real with myself. Too much empathy or lack of empathy is a weakness, right? Let's be real. So, that's my own thing to address, that I'm still balancing for years. So, again, it's not just gonna end until I end it. So I am taking the steps in order to address it. So I have plenty of problems. The only difference between me and somebody who's not addressing their problems is that I'm actively addressing them. And that's what you need to do. Whoopsies. Not getting is over. So you don't have to hit your goals. You just gotta try to be better than yesterday. If you fail today, you have the next 5 minutes to start changing it, change your outlook, change your perspective, change your thought process on it. Give yourself the chance to be sad, upset, angry, whatever, and then get over it and move on. Because you still got work to do. So put your crown back on and keep going. And I will say that it's difficult to cut people out of your life, but anyone who is actively negatively affecting your life, you're gonna have to cut them off. And it's not easy. And you're gonna feel bad. Or maybe you won't feel bad, I don't know, it's really dependent. But you need to cut off the people that are negatively affecting your life. And that goes even for like social media. If you see any kind of creator or somebody you know, anything online that consistently makes you feel less than, makes you feel like you're missing out on life, unfollow, delete, block if you must, remove it. I don't care if it's me, remove me, block me, delete me, unfollow me. It doesn't matter who it is. Get that negativity out of your face permanently. And then once you actually address any problems you have, you can always take a look back, right? Go back on that profile, watch those videos or watch the new ones. Do they still make you feel negatively? If not, sweet, you've reached your goal, baby. If it still does, ignore it, keep going. Don't give up. A lot of content creators are like, follow a script, follow a story. I found it to be a little bit too fake for me. I kind of just want to talk to you guys how I would talk to like a friend, and how I talk to myself in my head, realistically. Because talking to myself with a camera means I'm talking to myself. I just see myself and pretend it's like a mirror. That's how I'm getting over the like awkwardness. But like I said, it's all the little steps. So that's how I'm getting over the awkwardness, is I'm treating it like I'm speaking to myself in the mirror. I'm building up that consistency, which makes this new thing become more normal, which will make it like, eventually I'll just be like, it's whatever, it's so easy, I don't even care, I just do it. And that is when that goal is accomplished. That consistency is built. And I can continue on permanently, and now I can focus my time and energy on doing another thing I don't want to do and I need to do. Which next will be recording in public. I've already tried twice. It wasn't a great experience either time. So, I still did it. Didn't do it great. It felt really freaking awkward. But I'm getting more used to talking to the camera at home, so hopefully that'll help me zone everybody else out and do it in public. And then once I do that, then I'll feel comfortable with being like, yeah, I'm recording myself. Do you want to be in it? And be ridiculous, which is kind of my personality, but whatever, it works. I get you through it. So my dad used to always tell me growing up is that, well, actually used to tell me this ridiculous quote that I'm sure you guys all ever heard. He's like, if somebody tells you that the stove is hot, are you gonna go over and touch it to find out if it's hot? That was his like favorite line of everything. He's not wrong. Learning things from other people can really fasten your pace. So that being said, that's why I'm making videos, is that I'm hoping you guys can learn some things that'll help you on your path and journey, that'll also make it faster and easier for you. And I'm hoping you also take this mentality and thought process of learning from others into everyone you ever encounter. Other content creators, work, strangers, whatever it is. I want you to be able to learn from everyone. I want you to get the most positive traits from people and implement that in yourself, so that can be who you are. That can be what your character is like. So, that being said, I do need to start work in a few minutes, so I hope that you guys enjoyed my video. Like, subscribe like everybody else does on YouTube if you want to still see me again, or block me if you don't like me. That's fine too. I still hope you have a great life. So, that's it for me. Have a great day.